Spotfire is a great tool when data has been prepared as a table. If the source, however, is not homogeneous, needs to be first discovered, cleaned, filtered, and merged, then the Dat-a-Mazehouse is a great tool for this. However, Spotfire and its visualization and filtering capabilities can be very useful even to assist these activities so that the analyst can do it herself without requesting the help from an IT department or to build a data warehouse. In this example, the task is to analyze energy production data from environmental perspective. As this demo focuses on Spotfire integration, we skip the part how this data was extracted from its sources and loaded to TripleStorm hosted by Dat-a-Mazehouse. We just mentioned that the original data was automatically extracted and triplified, which means converted to RDF graph format. At this point, we don't know how does the data look like, what are the names of relevant data elements, what are the relations, what is the quality of the data, how much gap there are. Dat-a-Mazehouse Explore and Query integration with Spotfire helps find this out and prepare the data table for analysis. I start my discovery process by looking for relevant concepts like a power plant and just taking any, the first one that comes. I'm looking at the data and I am clicking on the data elements that sounds relevant. I found some geospatial information, longitude, latitude, which might be useful for my analysis. Selecting these. I'm also finding the countries, maybe even the continent, navigating to the owner company, the energy company, label. Now I can see how many results I have, 23,000 entries. And I could also see how many power plants there is. Again, 3,000, yes. How many energy companies? 4,000. How many countries? 179. What I would like to do is to also get information about the fuel types of what power plant is using. Don't see this here. And let me see some other result samples. You can see the sample list, and let's just click on some other and see if I found the fuel type somewhere here. Seems no. So we are going back to search and look for a fuel instead. Look at the list of all fuels, and let's just go with the wind, and we see that yes, the fuel type actually is, and the fuel. Now we see two isolated subgraphs here, so somehow power plants and fuel types should be connected. And there are incoming relation to fuel type. Let's take the first one again. And now we saw that actually the fuel type is connected, but seems like not all power plants have the fuel information. So now let us see how many power plants do we have now showing the fuel types. So that was 6,000 only. So if we want to analyze more than that, we could make the fuel type relation optional. And now we are back to 23,000. So now we have discovered the data model that contains information for the energy production analysis. And for example, just look first 500. What we could also do is to take a look. So here in Spotfire web player, we can take the first peek to the data and to see if we have everything for analysis. We can, for example, see the carbon emission, per country, sliced by company. You can also look at the facets, the filters. For example, if we look at the carbon emission, and we see that we have some values which are 0, which obviously means that there's a missing data. And for example, we set it to 1, and we see how the things change. We have now less rows. The same we can do with initial output. So we can set filters here to reduce amount of data which actually has value for analysis. And from here, we could get those filters back to initial query. And we can again modify the filter because we don't want to have the upper limit, for example. And this is how we can iterate in constructing the table of analysis and Spotfire to visualize what we got so far and deal with the quality issues and set filters and so forth. We can modify the query, for example, create the readable names for the properties, and we can see also how the result table would look like. So here we see exactly what nodes in the graph included to the result set and how the result set table will look like. We would also take away the limit. Now we are ready to Spotfire. As we can see now, we have over 10,000 power plants, and the data is nice and clean. We only have a valid values for energy output. We have all the list of the fuels, possible fuels used in power plants. We have continents, we have countries, and we could try again to do some analysis here. For example, energy output, a summary, for example, continent, and sliced by the country. And here we have the United States, and here we have China. And now seems like we are ready for a real analysis. What we can do here is to take this and open in a typical Spotfire Professional. So we just download it from the library, and for now just store it locally. You can open it. We need to log in. So now we have loaded to the typical Spotfire. and we see the same chart as we had in the web layer, but obviously here we can do now much more. And we can use the longitude latitude information from a table and use the map data table from Spotfire, and for example have the geographic analysis of the energy production and CO2 emission. So it's up to the user what to do now with analysis. The data has been prepared and the analysis can be performed. And this concludes the first part of the demonstration about Dat-a-Mazehouse and Spotfire integration, when we showed how to use Spotfire to help to discover the data needed for analysis, to clean it up, to filter and prepare a data set for the successful analysis in the Spotfire Professional.